I'm actually a fan of Jake Paul. I like him because he has not disrespected my sport. I've been in it 50 years. He didn't disrespect. He went, he busted his backside.
But what happens when I put this man to sleep? This is a joke. He's saying that it's going to be my funeral. He's saying it's going to be my wake. He's going to kill Jake Paul, all of these things. And that's why I love Mike, I respect him, but we're not friends anymore. Until November 15th, I'm knocking this out, and we're going to see who's dead.
He's like Floyd Mayweather. Yeah. There it is. Get the Lysol out. You got to clean that stuff up. Really, you can't leave that stuff on the walls. Go ahead, clean it up. Because he's like him because he's smart.
Teddy Atlas recently weighed in on the much-anticipated fight between Jake Paul and Mike Tyson, surprising many by predicting that Jake Paul might actually have a shot at defeating the boxing icon. Known for his deep insights and technical understanding of the sport, Atlas laid out his reasons for why he believes Jake Paul could pull off an upset against one of the greatest heavyweight boxers of all time. Atlas began by pointing out the obvious factor: age. At 58, Mike Tyson is well past his prime, and while he's shown impressive physical conditioning in recent years, Atlas stressed that the body naturally slows down. Atlas believes that Jake Paul, being nearly 30 years younger than Tyson, has the advantage in terms of endurance, recovery, and ability to keep up a higher pace.
So that question is for him. Does he need, at this point in his life, he's come back, he's made money, he's you know, all those things. People like him, people even love him, all of that. He's iconic now.
Moreover, Atlas credited Jake Paul for having a more calculated approach than many give him credit for. He highlighted Paul's patience in his previous fights, noting that the young boxer has been cautious and smart about picking his shots, an essential skill when dealing with a powerhouse like Tyson. Atlas emphasized Jake Paul's size and reach, which could allow him to control the fight's distance. At 6 feet 1 inch, Paul has a slight height advantage over Tyson, which he could use to maintain distance and keep Tyson from getting close enough to deliver his signature body shots and uppercuts. Atlas explained that Tyson needs to close the gap to be effective, and if Jake can keep him at bay with his jab, he might frustrate him and capitalize on that frustration.
Does he need it? And it's not for Teddy Atlas to answer. Does he need it? And not does he need it for his bankroll, does he need it for something else?
Paul's dedication to training with experienced boxing veterans has not gone unnoticed by Atlas. He praised Paul for consistently working with high-level coaches and sparring partners, which has helped him develop a solid defensive foundation. Atlas also mentioned that Paul's mental approach to the fight could be a significant advantage. He pointed out that Paul has a unique confidence that, while often criticized, serves him well in the ring. Atlas suggested that Tyson's aggressive fighting style might actually work to Jake's advantage if Paul can stay composed. Tyson's tendency to go for early knockouts, combined with his need to conserve energy, could give Paul openings to exploit as the rounds progress. Atlas theorized that if Paul can survive the initial onslaught and stick to his defensive strategy, Tyson's relentless aggression might begin to work against him.
Jake Paul, he's on the way to building a legitimate boxing career. He's having real fights.
Part of it is what it's been from the beginning, you know, trying to be the best fighter he can be and see where that takes him. At the same time, building a promotional company, maybe changing the sport a little bit in his mind too.
Yeah, I think at the core he's a good person, and I wouldn't be surprised if part of his motivation for putting on this fight is knowing it will get eyeballs and being able to put on some of the other fighters there.
Atlas trained Tyson when the future heavyweight champion was just a teenager under Cus D'Amato's mentorship. Reflecting on Tyson's performance in the video clips, he remarked that he wasn't surprised to see flashes of Tyson's prime form. Even in its later years, when it's out to pasture, a racehorse is still probably going to show little spurts of a gallop that an ordinary horse would not be able to show, Atlas said. He added, but it should not be misconstrued into thinking that necessarily Tyson can do that with a fighter where you don't know what's coming and when it's coming in the way that you did when you were in your 20s. Recalling the end of Tyson's career, which included 3 losses in his last 4 fights, Atlas said, I don't know what his fortitude level is at this point. Additionally, he stated that Tyson's once destructive left hook could not be sufficient to win the bout. Atlas said, the best punch Paul has is a straight right hand. A straight right hand still beats a left hook if the left hook is thrown at the wrong time. If Paul is experienced enough to throw the right hand, not only straight but without hesitation, a straight right hand can beat the left hook, and that would be my concentration as a trainer. At the same time, past comments from the 58-year-old Tyson have re-emerged. in which he firmly declared he would never go up against the younger fighter. Given the significant age gap between the two, this showdown stands as one of the most debated matchups in sports history. Additionally, Tyson didn't always see himself stepping into the ring with Paul. Newfound comments from the boxing icon have just come to light. Nearly 2 years back on the Full Send podcast, Iron Mike stated emphatically that a fight was entirely off the table. Tyson said, "My family loves Jake Paul. I would never fight him. Everyone in my family loves this little white mother. Let him have his reign. Let him have his time. I don't want to fight him, man. I fight real fighters. I fight fighters that hurt big, strong, scary men. They're the ones that I fight." The exact amount Tyson will earn for facing off against Paul, who is 31 years his junior, remains undisclosed. In March, however, Marca speculated that Tyson might land a $20 million payday for his return to the ring. Determined to hold off the years this winter, Tyson has been hitting the gym hard. Meanwhile, Paul's recent victory over Mike Perry sets the stage for a thrilling matchup with Tyson. Mike Tyson's return to the ring seems unstoppable, with his progress continually impressing fans and critics alike. At the same time, Jake Paul is itching for a shot at the boxing legend, picturing a packed arena and relishing the thought of a career-defining win. Two-time world champion Timothy Bradley firmly believes Tyson holds a decisive advantage over Paul. He argues that Tyson's explosive power in the opening rounds is likely to overwhelm the YouTuber, potentially resulting in a quick knockout. Bradley said, "I think Tyson is going to knock him out fast. At first I didn't think so, but when I saw the rules there was no doubt in my mind. By knockout. I'm sure it will be by knockout. It's only 2 minutes instead of 3. There is no doubt in my mind." He further added, "Think about it. He's going to come out like a whirlwind, like he always has. He's going to corner him, he's going to close him off with his body, and he's going to take him out. He's got everything in his favor to knock Paul out of the game at the drop of a hat. You know, that power is the last thing to go, and Tyson has everything in his favor in 2 minutes. The result of the fight will be influenced by the abbreviated format, designed to accommodate the disparity in age and conditioning. While Tyson might not possess the stamina of his peak years, his knockout power is still as dangerous as ever. Just one precise hit could put Paul on the mat. Even with the passage of time, Tyson's hand speed seems as quick as it was in his prime, judging by the training clips he's posted online. Boxing legend Butterbean has branded the anticipated fight between Mike Tyson and Jake Paul as a scam, expressing doubts it will ever take place. The fight's outcome is expected to be influenced by a shorter format, designed to accommodate the fighter's age and fitness disparities. While Tyson may no longer possess the stamina of his youth, his knockout power is as dangerous as ever. One solid strike could leave Paul on the mat. Despite the passage of time, Tyson's speed seems just as quick as in his prime, judging by the impressive training clips he's posted online. Although there is a 30-year age gap between the two competitors, 58-year-old Tyson has been absent from the professional boxing scene since 2005, returning only for a 2020 exhibition match against Roy Jones Jr. The highly anticipated bout, initially slated for a Netflix broadcast in July, was unexpectedly delayed just 2 months after its announcement. This setback followed a medical scare that Tyson experienced in May. Butterbean, whose real name is Eric Esch, is not certain that Tyson and Paul would ever truly compete in the ring, despite the fact that the two have moved the bout to November 15th. He said, "Him and Tyson are never gonna fight. That has been a scam from the very beginning just to boost Jake's name. And it has. This guy, everybody's talking about him, but he's never gonna fight Tyson." The former super heavyweight continued by saying that the scam was planned knowing full well that the bout would never happen. They were never planning on fighting each other because a promoter would never let him fight anyone else in between a fight, he added, referring to Paul's matchup with Mike Perry, which filled the date vacated by Tyson. Butterbean added, "Never, not that big of a fight. So it's been a scam from the beginning." The ex-fighter has history with Paul. In 2022, just 5 fights into his career, Butterbean challenged Paul to a bout. The seasoned fighter's brief flirtation with returning to the ring came after a stunning physical transformation, nearly 10 years since his final fight in 2013. After Paul's victory over ex-UFC fighter Perry, Tyson wasted no time in signaling his unwavering commitment to overcoming his younger opponent. He took to social media immediately after the fight, delivering a stark message to Paul that emphasized his resolve. He wrote on X, "118 days, 16 weeks and 6 days, 17 weekends, 2,832 hours, 169,920 minutes, 10,195,200 seconds. The clock starts now." Before Paul triumphed over Perry, Tyson posted a video of himself silently watching Paul on TV. But Biagio Ali Walsh, grandson of the legendary Muhammad Ali, recently made waves by urging challenging Jake Paul to face opponents who truly match his skill level. This challenge came in the wake of news that Biagio's brother, Nico Ali Walsh, had been offered a substantial $3 million to fight the YouTube star-turned-boxer but ultimately turned it down. As a fighter who's carving out his own name in mixed martial arts, Biagio shared his thoughts after Nico revealed his decision to reject the lucrative offer. Meanwhile, Nico has redeemed his loss from 2023, pushing his record to an impressive 11-1 after a recent triumph over Sonia Akale. The matchup garnered attention not only for its financial rewards, but also for the stark weight difference between Nico and Paul. Weighing roughly 40 pounds more than Nico, Paul quickly became the target of criticism from Biagio, who advised him to find opponents of a comparable size. He said, "Just fight somebody your own size. I don't really understand calling out people that are smaller than you." Even when he fought Mike Perry, he had the size advantage. Mike is a stud though. He's a bare-knuckle boxer and did his run in different MMA organizations. He further added, "He's a stand-up guy. I still give credit where credit's due. Jake beat him, beat Anderson Silva, beat Nate Diaz, all these guys. But I think that the fans would like to see him fight a boxer that's his size. His marketing is next level too. You've got to give credit where credit's due." Meanwhile, UFC star Michael Chandler is rooting for Mike Tyson to dismantle Jake Paul. Despite the bout's flaws, Chandler expects it to be a thrilling spectacle. Chandler said, "Jake Paul fought Mike Perry, who he outweighed by 20 pounds or so and had 4 inches of height on. And now, it's Mike Tyson, who is 30 years older. Mike Tyson's about 60 and Jake's about 30. Jake Paul has been urged to reconsider his plans to take on UFC champion Alex Pereira. After securing a dramatic 6th-round knockout of Mike Perry last month, the YouTuber-turned-boxer set his eyes on the reigning light heavyweight champion. Despite the high-profile November showdown with boxing legend Mike Tyson in Texas, Paul remains fixated on Pereira. The Brazilian has established himself as one of the UFC's most difficult opponents and has won titles in 2 weight divisions. But Paul insisted he could beat him in a boxing ring when he said, "Alex Pereira, you said you want to box and I'm the king of this, so come over. We can make it happen. I want you, Alex Pereira. I just beat a BKFC champion. I've beat multiple UFC champions and he said he wants to box, so Alex Pereira." After Mike Tyson "Let's make it happen." At the press conference after his win over Perry, Paul expanded on his wish to fight Pereira when he added, "I want everybody. I love this sport," and he's tweeted about wanting to go into boxing. "We got him on FaceTime in the ring and I said, 'Yo, can you get out of your contract? If he can get out of his contract, then let's run it.' When I asked him, he paused and looked at his manager. Against all expectations, Mike Tyson is favored to triumph in his upcoming bout with Jake Paul, an event set to resonate deeply within the annals of heavyweight boxing. At 58 years old, the iconic Tyson is preparing for an improbable return to the ring on November 15th, where he'll face 26-year-old YouTube star Paul in a contest that has shockingly been approved as an official match. Should Tyson's comeback proceed as scheduled, he will be on the verge of surpassing Roy Jones Jr.'s record for the longest heavyweight career, an incredible run stretching from 1985 to 2024.
I really like Jake a lot, but once he's in that ring, he has to fight like his life is dependent on it, because it will be.
I truly believe that there's a lot of people who, see me as an arrogant ass, which I can be sometimes, but I'm just having fun and entertaining the world. And I do think that the older generation wants people to see Mike knock me out, but at the end of the day, I also have the kids, the middle schoolers, the high schoolers, the college students rooting for me and want to see me and Mike.
Rising boxing star Willie Hutchinson, set to clash with Joshua Buatsi on the undercard of the eagerly awaited Anthony Joshua versus Daniel Dubois fight, is brimming with confidence. He attributes this to his belief that Paul's skills are limited, a weakness he feels will give him a clear advantage when they face off in the ring. He said, "Wow, that is still happening. It's terrible, isn't it? The man is 60 years old. I still think he can beat and knock out Jake Paul. Even at the age of 60, he isn't worth anything. I think it's a shame though, really. It is letting boxing down and it is making it a bit of a mockery." Kevin McBride's dominant victory over Mike Tyson in 2005 marked the end of Tyson's legendary career, with his physical decline becoming evident. Nearly 2 decades later, Tyson continues to grapple with ongoing health challenges, determined to regain his former strength. In an effort to prove he's ready for a comeback, Tyson has started releasing training videos, his first since his postponed return to the ring. It will be difficult to defeat Paul since he is at the peak of his physical abilities, yet he still has explosive energy outbursts. Hutchinson added, "I mean, what good is that doing or gaining for boxing? But everyone will buy in and watch it. It's Mike Tyson fighting Jake Paul. They are big names. It's a shame. I don't care how much money you're getting. I wouldn't jeopardize what I've done if I was Mike Tyson, just to say I am fighting Jake Paul." Despite the fighter's old age and deteriorating skills, Teddy Atlas, the former trainer of the unbeaten champion, thinks this might be sufficient to win. He said, "You better be aware, knowing Tyson the way I do, power doesn't disappear when you're old. He's still got speed, combinations. He's still got that style that he was taught to make you miss and create openings for that power. Atlas stressed that Mike Tyson retains his instinctual sharpness and pinpoint accuracy, allowing him to evade, outthink, and capitalize on moments to deliver a knockout blow. He decisively rejected any suggestions of underhanded tactics or secret deals, underscoring the real threat Tyson posed to Paul. Despite the significant risks, Atlas praised Paul's bravery in facing such a fearsome adversary in the ring. He further added, "Tyson's gonna come out there, and if you do have an agreement with him, good luck, because I know Tyson. When that bell rings, he might have a short memory about any agreement other than the agreement to put hands on your chin." According to official announcements, Jake Paul and Mike Tyson are scheduled to meet in the ring this November for an 8-round match, with each round lasting 2 minutes. Despite a 30-year age gap, Paul has remained in peak fighting form, sharpening his boxing abilities against former MMA fighters. On the other hand, Tyson, a once dominant force in the boxing world, is making his long-awaited comeback after almost 20 years away from the sport. While some in the boxing world speculate that the former undisputed champion could return to his prime form against the significantly younger 27-year-old Paulie Malignaggi, the ex-world champion turned analyst has voiced concerns. In an interview with ProBox TV, he warned that the heavyweight legend may be facing a serious risk of injury, questioning whether he could compete without encountering setbacks. Malignaggi reflected on the electrifying aura that surrounded Mike Tyson in the late 80s, recalling the frenzy that Tyson generated during those years. Although he was glad to see Tyson thriving financially, Malignaggi admitted to feeling a pang of sadness at the thought of his once undefeated hero enduring any form of hardship. He also warned that Jake Paul is proving to be a more formidable opponent than many might have anticipated.
You know, I'm sure that the odds will shift once all the money comes in on Mike Tyson, because there's a lot of people in love with the Mike Tyson mystique.
The nostalgia.
And that will shift the odds. But, bro, I'm older than you guys. I'm telling you, I was alive and can remember the Mike Tyson mystique of the late 80s. It's sad for me, bro. Not that he's doing this, because I'm happy that anytime the guy can make money and be all right, man. He's one of the first heroes that I can remember. It's Diego Maradona, Mike Tyson, Michael Jordan, Wayne Gretzky. Those are the first, like, Hulk Hogan, Mr. T. Like, those are the first, like, heroes that I can remember from my age, born in 1980. So I'm a little older than you. I can literally remember what it's like to wake up the morning of a Tyson fight pre-Buster Douglas and be like, whoa. You know, it's like, dude, it's like, I don't want to see the guy get hurt. That's all, man. I feel like Jake is more dangerous than everybody's giving him credit for. In
another part of the boxing realm, Kevin McBride, the final fighter to face Mike Tyson in the ring, has sent a blunt warning to Jake Paul, as the YouTube sensation-turned-boxer prepares for his November showdown with the former heavyweight champion. McBride's perspective sheds light on the tough battle Paul is about to encounter. Although Tyson's age suggests a potential decline, McBride, now 51, remains steadfast in his conviction that the iconic boxer still possesses immense strength. Having defeated Tyson by technical knockout in their 2005 match, the final fight of Tyson's professional career, McBride recalls their encounter with clarity. He reminisces about the sheer power Tyson exhibited, even as the legendary fighter was nearing the end of his illustrious journey in the ring. "When Tyson hit me, it felt like my head was spinning," McBride recounted in an interview with Instant Casino, describing the intensity of Tyson's punches. He explained how, after taking a vicious hit, he was able to put Tyson in a headlock and further infuriate him, which made Tyson even more furious. McBride recalls Tyson retaliating by biting him, inflicting excruciating pain. This pivotal moment, immortalized in the fight's footage, highlights the raw, untamed intensity Tyson still brought to the ring, a force that endured well beyond his prime. Keeping this in focus, McBride shared his insights with the 27-year-old Paul, stressing the critical role of solid defense and the necessity of staying alert to Tyson's erratic tendencies. He cautioned Paul to stay extra alert if Tyson discarded his mouthpiece, a tactic McBride knew from first-hand experience usually signaled a sudden and perilous assault. Tyson is a fearsome man, even in his 50s. It takes real courage to step into the ring with him, whether you're a seasoned fighter or a YouTuber like Paul, McBride advised. There has been talk that Paul could have the upper hand because of Tyson's age, suggesting the younger fighter might benefit from the disparity. However, McBride strongly rejects this idea, asserting that Tyson's power is just as formidable as it has ever been and could prove to be a game changer in the bout. Power is the final quality a fighter loses, according to McBride, and Tyson's strike still has a lot of force even after all these years. If Tyson connects with just one solid hit, it could be lights out for Paul, McBride suggested, indicating that the younger fighter could find himself in serious trouble if he underestimates Tyson's capabilities. Additionally, McBride suggested that he may consider going back to the ring for another bout with Tyson if the chance arose. If Tyson wins and Paul wants a rematch, I'd be ready to step in again, McBride said. He even volunteered to fill in if either Paul or Tyson pulled out of the upcoming fight. As the showdown between Tyson and Paul draws near, McBride's cautionary words offer a stark glimpse into the formidable challenge awaiting Paul. Despite Tyson's age, now in his late 50s, his legacy as a relentless competitor remains untarnished. To leave the ring unscathed, Paul must summon every bit of his skill. With Tyson's legendary status as one of the sport's most feared figures, this match carries monumental weight. Tyson's last professional fight occurred in 2005, when he suffered a defeat at the hands of Kevin McBride, a far cry from his former dominance in the ring. In the years since, Tyson has struggled with a range of health problems. Although the fight's regulations were designed to ease potential challenges, numerous fighters have criticized Paul for orchestrating the event, perceiving it as an act of disrespect. It's hard to imagine a fighter more familiar with Mike Tyson's strategy than Evander Holyfield. The two squared off in 2 epic encounters, battling through 14 grueling rounds, with Holyfield coming out on top both times. In their first bout, Holyfield delivered a knockout blow to Tyson, and during their rematch, Holyfield's relentless approach pushed Tyson to the edge, eventually leading to the infamous ear-biting incident and his disqualification.
He had all these people pay. Look how much money he got paid. I said, look how much money professional get. Somebody else is dipping in the money. Like that, I said, I think Jake Paul I'm telling you, it's good for boxing for us to go back and look at and say, hey, this thing ain't right. Now these people who not pros, who still taking a chance just like we taking a chance to win, cause they popular, and they get all this money.
While he holds Iron Mike in high regard for his remarkable skill, Holyfield is keenly aware of the dangers the powerful heavyweight poses inside the ring. In a recent conversation with Fight Hub TV, he opened up about the much-discussed upcoming bout against Jake Paul, set for November 15th. Holyfield expressed doubt about Jake Paul's confidence, but acknowledged that Paul would have the advantage in speed. He suggested that if Paul stayed in close range with Mike, his chances of victory would be high, but if he kept his distance, he'd probably be vulnerable to getting caught.
I don't know how much confidence that Jake Paul have in all this, but he gonna be a lot quicker, and if he stay close to Mike, then his chance of winning gonna be great. But he try to stay back from Mike, he gonna get caught.
Paul and Tyson are preparing for an intriguing showdown in a professional fight, which brings a distinctive twist: 8 2-minute rounds and the use of 14-ounce gloves. The YouTuber turned boxer, known for his lucrative earnings in the ring, is set to capture considerable attention with this bout. While critics of the sport have raised concerns over the 30-year age gap between the fighters, Holyfield has warned Paul to not underestimate Tyson, emphasizing the legendary fighter's enduring strength. Holyfield elaborated, comparing Mike to a snake, always ready to strike with lightning speed. He observed that Tyson's swift attacks are most effective when he's allowed to close the distance, but rushing toward him can disrupt his rhythm. Holyfield emphasized that Tyson uses his legs to drive forward, bringing himself uncomfortably close. Yet, he warned, if given any space, those who back away inevitably face disaster, as Tyson's ability to land a knockout becomes imminent.
Mike is like a snake. He'll pop out on you. He get there too quick. But if you charge him, you're gonna smother everything, because everything he push off his legs. He push off his legs so he too close. Like this, but if you give him room, everybody get knocked out going backwards. Like this, you give him in the room, you're gonna be messed up.
Holyfield raised doubts about Jake Paul's ability to withstand a powerful blow, pointing out that he had yet to see Paul face a truly formidable puncher. He speculated that the bout could end swiftly, as Paul probably hasn't encountered anyone with the ferocity of a Mike Tyson punch. Reflecting on Tyson's career, Holyfield also recalled a moment when Tyson, exhausted in the ring, simply sat down and walked away, signaling the end of his fight.
But the point of the matter is this: do Jake Paul take a good shot? I never seen him get hit by nobody.
or a guy that the power of Mike even up, because power's the last thing to go.
Yeah, I'm so that's it. But you never know. Yeah, just like Mike quit in the ring, he got tired and just quit and just sit there.
Oh man,
I'm
yeah.
done.
Make sure to check out some of our other videos on the screen if you enjoyed this one.